Hello, all you happy people. I guess this video I'd like to make addressing the fact that Jeff Sessions, Attorney General Jeff Sessions, has decided to allow federal prosecutors to prosecute people in states that legalize medical and recreational marijuana. So I've said it before, and I'll say it again. Donald Trump really should get rid of Attorney General Jeff Sessions. And it's unfortunate because I know Donald Trump nominated him, and the Attorney General, Mr. Sessions, should be grateful that Donald Trump gave him the opportunity to arise to the position he's in now as the Attorney General of the Department of Justice. Now, that being said, Special Counsel Robert Mueller, or Mueller, works for him, technically, works under him. So it raises the concerns. Of course, I'm very deeply upset with Jeff Sessions for not taking appropriate matters, for not taking appropriate actions against Mueller and his corruption. And now, instead of cracking down on this obvious one-sided investigation that honestly is one-sided, this investigation should involve everybody in the presidential campaigns, everybody, not just the person who won the elections. Doesn't make any sense. So obviously it's unfair. Obviously the Clintons have committed several felonies, and that they're just allowed to get away with it, apparently. Well, I apologize for my neighbors. Maybe it's a bad time to make a video, but okay, well, so the issue here is that I want to have a conversation with Attorney General Jeff Sessions. What is it that occurred? What is it that you have seen personally in your life that makes you compare marijuana and marijuana usage to real bad drugs, hardcore drugs? Even alcohol is far more dangerous than marijuana ever will be. So many more people are murdered from accidents that result in overconsumption of alcohol. Alcoholics drive when they shouldn't be driving. They wander off to places where they shouldn't be wandering off. They are more likely to be violent with one another. Alcohol usage and marijuana usage should switch places, I believe. And look, I like to drink as much as anybody, and I feel bad because if alcohol becomes illegal again, no more bars, no more clubs. The moonshiners will be back up in business with that underground illegal alcohol distribution. But my point is, alcohol being obviously far more dangerous than marijuana ever will be, I do not wish to humor people who tell me or who say that, oh, I have a relative who was run over by a person high on weed and this and that. Look, I don't doubt that happened, but that happens with alcohol much more often. Much more often. So if we're going to blame people's abuse of intoxicants, we should blame the people for their irresponsibility, not the substance. Now, I don't want to condone drug usage. I'm not here to say that drug distributors and people who do drugs should be let go. No, I'm not saying that at all. I'm specifically speaking about marijuana only. I could care less about the drugs that are obviously damaging, such as cocaine, such as heroin, oxycodone, which is technically a derivative of opium, which is heroin. So, Attorney General Jeff Sessions, I would like to thank you for your service, but I really feel that you are mistaken in your recent actions and opinions on marijuana usage. And I'd like to know why it is that you're so condemning of that, rather than the obvious corruption happening within your department that you are now the head of thanks to Donald Trump. You should honestly be very grateful to him. And you should be working to serve the people. And me, as an American-born citizen, I'm not here to tell you how you should do your job. I'm expressing to you my real concerns that are backed up by facts. Alcohol usage is far more dangerous and lethal than marijuana usage ever will be. They cannot even compare. And I believe that if you want to keep people safe, the best thing we can do is legalize marijuana and have it so that if an individual does not have identification, they cannot purchase marijuana, just like alcohol and tobacco. It will be monitored, it will be controlled, and the government will ultimately make money out of the taxation of marijuana. So I'm speaking of this from a legal perspective. I'm speaking of this from an ethical perspective and a social economic perspective. For the safety of our children, for the safety of our communities, marijuana should be monitored, and it should have a barcode, and one must have a proper identification and licenses and business licenses to purchase it, distribute it, and all that, just like tobacco and alcohol. I am not suggesting that we allow criminals to be criminals. I'm just saying that we cannot continue criminalizing marijuana usage on the federal level. Usage, not distribution. If somebody is illegally buying and selling gold without the proper licenses as a jeweler, then they should be prosecuted, just like people who are illegally selling alcohol or selling anything illegally. I will agree with that, but I disagree with the criminalization of recreational marijuana use, especially when we have legalized alcohol that causes far more pain and suffering on a national level, on an international level, than marijuana ever will. Thank you for your time. God bless America, and God bless President Trump.